You got the Dusty Cup later? Kick ass, man. Somebody hit my music.
Fuck you, PrizePicks! Fuck you, PrizePicks!
But I'm had enough.
Fuck you, PrizePicks! All the skin, man, I hate enough! Fuck you, PrizePicks! My whole clique about to fuck you up! Fuck you, PrizePicks! Population, we are not the same! Fuck you, PrizePicks! We get to win and take everything! Logging in, make my picks, I'm about to get this red. It makes me harder than Candace Parker giving me head. Rage said if I don't win, then I'ma come pick you up. Carpooling to the bridge, if we a fam, then we all jump. Betty on the hope, she rolls her knees or ends up dead. Whatever it takes, I'm trying to make this money with my friends. WNBA season, so much free you won't believe. Join in Discord, you can pay a top support and more. At least I'm kidding, we really winning the ghost of the industry. Johnny and Clyde, they don't want the smoke, we taking all the money. Ain't no selling now. Population, we are not the same, we do this every day now. Everybody say, fuck you, PrizePicks. Fuck you, PrizePicks. Fuck you, PrizePicks. Fuck you, PrizePicks.
Well, I've had enough.
Fuck you, PrizePicks. You can keep your rotten taco. Fuck you, PrizePicks. Robin Johnny, that's tomato. Fuck you, PrizePicks. And if you really wanna win, fuck you, PrizePicks. Come and rock with population.
Fuck you, you piece of shit. Fuck you, you piece of shit.
And here we go.
Welcome to the Balking Dead, guys. It's Friday, so you know what that means. We bring in the only guy that I fucking care about, their opinion when it's talking to pitching props. Not saying that your opinions don't mean nothing, but opinions are like assholes, guys. Everybody has one. So I just happen to like this guy's a little better. No homo. What up, Spin Doc? I hope you're ready. I know you're ready because you fucking told me yesterday morning. Are you started on tomorrow yet?
I can't
Like,
yesterday.
What do you fucking mean, bro? What do you mean? And you're like, bro, look now. And I was like, oh my God, bro, we gotta go. We gotta start.
You could have like a
16
3-hour show. Yeah.
You do every guy, bro, but I don't do every guy. To have 16 in one fucking day is absurd.
I capped them all. I got them all. But no, it's been a fantastic week, actually. Added it up last night, and I tweaked the model, tweaked the metrics. You don't care about that. What you do care about is since doing that, since August 25th, so a week, 12-2 and plus 8.51 units. It has been an absolute fire streak that I've been on. So I got public plays, I got VIP plays. I already have four in for tonight, and I'm probably going to have two more. I mean, this is going to be a fun night.
Yeah, man. Like I texted you, I was like, bro, I went a little hard on Strider. You know, I had my guys on a good unit and a half, but I don't want to tell people to jump off the deep end like I do at times, but it fucking worked out. And the win bet, bro, I couldn't sleep. I couldn't go to bed. It was like, am I gonna fucking lose this game? Are the Braves going to lose this? A 7-1 lead goes 8-7 into the ninth. I'm shitting my bricks, bro. Like,
right.
Fuck. Mookie Betts is leading off. Oh, fuck. But, we
Worked.
come on top, guys. And like you said, dude, August has been fucking good, bro. I mean, since I started betting unders and looking towards the dark side, life's been good again. Life's been real good, guys. So drop your guys' best bet in the chats, hashtag we be pubbing, or if you have a question on any pitcher we don't touch today, as we've got 6 going, and the name of Yuri Perez, Kodai Senga, Rodan, Scherzer, Verlander, and Eduardo Rodriguez. If you want us to talk about any other at the end, time consuming, permitting, we will give you our opinions on them. As you know, this show is sponsored by W. It's clean energy powder with no come down to your day. And by scanning the QR code on screen, you can get 10% off your first order by using the best promo code on God's green earth. If you haven't already, do me a favor and smash that like button and make sure you do have them notification bells on. On this show, we will talk the first line opened up on a K-prop, also the best line available 30 minutes prior to the show. And then we will compare and see where the value lies between the books and PrizePicks. Of course, this show is also sponsored by PrizePicks. If you haven't, go on over there and use that promo code PUBSports, and you're going to get a match deposit on your first deposit up to 100, minimum of 25. First guy on the board today is Yuri Perez at the Nationals. Number 51 in the black book is striking people out at a 30.5% clip, while walking people 7.5% of the time. Morning line is 6+ at +115 on DraftKings, whereas best line available now has moved 25 cents to that 5.5 is -110 on DraftKings. PrizePicks has him at a 5.5, whereas hits allowed are at a flat 4 on PrizePicks. The projected lineup is 5 lefties, 4 righties. What you got on Udi's first back-to-back? You're muted. Dun, 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 dun. Are you there?
I think he's frozen, Sharpie.
Well, he's frozen, so I'll give you guys my opinion. Well, his internet pops up. We're going to start the day, guys, talking Yuri Perez on his first ever back-to-back, and it's versus the no-fly Nationals at that. And after today, guys, this will be now his third time in his first 16 games in the show where he's seen this team, where back on May 18th, he went 5 innings, 1 earned runs, and had 6 strikeouts. Where last week, guys, he cashed his 6.5 by the hook, going 6 innings, 1 run ball with 7 strikeouts. And yet they dropped him to a 5.5. I've been betting these K props for a long, long time now, guys. And I've studied the way the books have played these back-to-backs. And let me tell you, they do not adjust for one game. And when they do, you better be fucking careful because some shit's about to go down. The last back-to-back, guys, we talked on this show was Chris Sale versus the Astros, where he had 9 the first time, where they put him at a 5.5 the first game. And that's where he opened up again the second game, a 5.5. And for the most part, guys, that's what we get in back-to-backs. Except the books play off recency bias a lot. More often, guys, than I actually would like to give them credit for. And the fact that everyone knows that they're a no-fly zone, and they're one just tough cookie to strike out, guys. So why wasn't he a 5.5 last week? So drop him after a 7, which he's had no less than 6 versus this team. I just can't go under, guys, or I just can't go over. This is just one of those fucking ones that I just got to let be, as they do not adjust. So they have something up their fucking sleeves. And I just couldn't figure out what they got, guys, as I think they're wanting over money. As the fucker just got 7. You drop them 1. I don't expect people to bet the under. So the fact that the pitching ninja bet him over, I would expect that is a public type play, guys, because if it looks easy, it fucking ain't, guys. And they don't fuck with back-to-backs. We only put 2 guys on the board today because they did fuck with their back-to-backs, guys. And I wanted to touch on the books don't fuck with back-to-backs. So what you got on Udi?
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you, Sharpie. This was a pretty much an immediate cross-off for me. When you compare the percentage of guys that Yuri is not walking or giving up a hit or letting on base and what percent he strikes out to what the Nationals do, there's a huge disparity there. When you factor in the hits and the walks in there, it's a significant difference. Is always the back-to-back. And my problem is, like you said, the Nats are hard to strike out to begin with. All contact metrics, they rank pretty much first or near the top. That would include contact outside the zone, contact inside the zone, total contact. They are one of only 3 teams in Major League Baseball to have a whiff rate under 10% over the last 30 days at 9.4. That's almost 2.5% below what the league average is. And that's across almost 1,000 plate appearances. So, this is one where, given how Yuri has been performing and just how dominant that fastball can be, a good fastball like he has can alleviate a lot of other, can neutralize a lot of other contact related stuff. But on a back-to-back on the road, I'm not interested in paying juice on a Yuri under, nor am I interested in, even if it was slightly plus money, and nor am I interested in taking an over against the Nationals at Nats Park. So total pass for me. I'm interested to see what this kid can do, seeing the team for the first time, because he doesn't have a super diverse pitch mix, because he's got he primarily goes slider, changeup, fastball, but can drop a curve in there. So I'm interested to see how he approaches it. This will be a really good test for the young this will be a really good test for the young guy, simply because he's never faced this before, nor has he faced in the bigs, nor has he faced a team. I mean, what a time to get your first back-to-back against a team that makes this much contact. So I am actually just going to watch as a fan and see how he handles it, because the Nats hitters will be adjusted because they're just that good.
You talked about his fastball, bro, and that was his issue after that long-ass break coming back from the freaking IL. They gave him a break. They didn't want him to pitch. They said, oh, your innings are up. We need you later on, so just sit down for a fucking month and don't pitch. Well, he had no control of his breaking balls for the first 2 games, and these teams sat dead red on him, and I don't give a fuck how good your fastball is. If they can sit dead red on you, you're in trouble. Dodgers game, I played him strictly because I know my team can't hit dead red. And this motherfucker showed up with all the bags in the trick. This showed up with the whole toolbox, everything working. And last week, you remember the phone call in the morning? You're like, man, 6.5 for Yuri, bro? I don't know. I was like, bro, if he's got control of his shit like the Dodgers, yeah, we can't go under. And that fucker's got full control right now. I just think they ambush the fastball a lot. I would look towards its outs over before I played his case, as he is elite. But if he's going to throw first pitch strikes, fastballs, they're going to be looking for that. And they're more often than not going to put it in play. Now we get into the only guy that I did write a book report on, as I did want to keep a lot of my write-ups short so we could touch on other pitchers if we needed to, and I'm sure we were going to. So let's talk Kodai Senga versus the Mariners. Number 25 in the black book, striking people out 28.5% of the time, while walking people 11% of the time. Opened them up 7+ -149 on Caesars, where the best line available to that 6.5 is -138 on FanDuel. PrizePicks has them at a flat 7, whereas hits allowed under over are a 4.5, where the projected lineup is 5 lefties and 4 righties. Let's talk the Senga, man, the only bright spot of the Mets this year. Or is Sharpie talking to him?
Just you.
All right, guys, he'll be back. That means you guys get my breakdown first, where usually we get his breakdowns first. Now we talk my favorite guy going today, guys, and it's only because the money he's been putting in my fucking pocket. And that's the only bright spot of these Mets this year, guys. Kodai Senga versus the Mariners. And last week, the book said he wouldn't walk 3, and yet he did, yet still had 10 punch-outs. And we're back to this same thing again, guys. We get a juice 6.5 if we want in on Senga today. When just based off his win percentage alone, he should be even money. But we know the Mariners have been a whole lot better as of late, as they are walking above league average, striking out 24% of the time. I say only, guys, because they were near 28% all year. And their bats have come to what we thought they would be at the beginning of the year, which is elite. Their team isolated power is in the 220s over the last 15 days, let alone the month combined. And we get us a spot that can be money in the bank or death by walks, guys, as we know Senga can walk himself out of a over on a K-prop at any given day. Yet when we look at his over his last 10 games, guys, it actually seems like he's gotten this shit in check, as he's only walked 3 or more in 2 of his last 10 after walking 3 or more in 11 of his first 14. Now we have as well in a team who whiffs and chases, and you just don't want to be that versus this man. When you see this man, guys, when he's faced teams that fall under these same categories of when they whiff and chase, he has done damage, where the only time he shit the bed was versus the Rockies. He did go 6 innings with 4 strikeouts, where the other games he just marked them. He had 12 versus the Rays, 8 versus the Brewers when they did strike out, whiff and chase at the time. 9 versus the Phillies the first time he played them, as well as 10 versus the Angels last week. So all in all, he's 4-1 to the over 6.5, averaging 8.6 strikeouts when he faces a team who whiffs and chases. Now, I do have the projected lineups drawn out, guys, because like I said, this is the one game I drew up a book report on, because I have to do my due diligence if I want to bet a fucking man, especially with this juice. So When I run through everybody in this lineup, guys, I get why they added the 6.5 at super minus, but I might as well, if I take him today, take him at the 7.5 at plus money, because I believe if he gets 7, that he gets 8 as well. The only reason why he doesn't hit this, in my opinion, is if he doesn't go 6 innings, which these guys can pound his ass, guys. It is out there. So when I did everything out there, guys, when I looked at them one by one and I looked at how are they doing, I looked at chase contact, whiff, how are they walking individually, how are they striking out individually. I put a good hour into this fucking lineup. We have got the one guy in the top of the lineup who doesn't whiff, who doesn't chase, and makes good contact, guys. He's striking out 27% of his at-bats, and I'm talking Crawford over the last 15 days, where Julio is a guy who whiffs, chases, and don't make contact, and he's at 9.5 on his walk and his strikeout percentage in that span, where we have 2 guys in the 4 spot, guys, 4 and 5 spot, that can lead the 3 to 6 strikeouts themselves, as they are one of the 3 guys in this lineup who whiffs, chase, don't make contact when they chase, as well as not walking and striking out above 30% of their at-bats the last 15 days, where Suarez is live for a K, as also live for 2 fucking walks as well. And Ford and Cazone will be a little tougher towards the back end of the lineup, guys, where the whip and chase is actually pretty well. They're either elite in one of them and as well as good at making chase contact. Rojas, like Crawford, says he doesn't whiff and chase, but he's not. He's also striking out 27%. So I probably just ran a bunch of shit through your head that made absolutely no fucking sense. What I got to, guys, no matter which way I calculated his strikeouts, guys, whether it was by whiff and chase contact, whether it was by them striking out and walking numbers spread out alone, I see him getting 6 at worst, guys, today, with upwards to 9, no matter which way I look at it. So depending on the lineups, which it should be this lineup, I will be looking at that 7.5 at plus money for a half unit type bet. Is I don't know if I want to pay fucking that type of juice for if he gets murked, where I have him getting 7 and 8 in the same type of day, where if he don't get 7, he probably don't get 8. So what you got for me here, my guy? Sorry, I took minutes on a guy. I had to
that's okay. No, sorry about all the connectivity issues. I don't know what that was, but I think we're good now. So for Kodai, I think that you're right in that over is probably one of the only ways that you can look. The one thing to keep in mind, though, is that over the last 30 days, the Mariners of all teams have a called strike rate of 14.6%, which is almost 2 full percentage points under league average, and actually one of the best in Major League Baseball. Now, you might think that that's because they're just hacking at things like they have been prone to do, but they're actually not. 29.4% chase rate outside the zone compared to 29% average, and an overall contact rate of 74.4% compared to a 76.2 average. And that's also almost 3 percentage points up from what they were the prior 30 days before that. So I'm not saying that any of this should drive you off of Senga's of Senga's over, especially if you get the lineup that Sharpie was just talking about when I signed back in. And when you look at it, even though they're not chasing as much, their chase contact is still almost 3 full percentage points under league average. They have at least 3 project guys who should be in the lineup in the 5 to 8 or 9 range that have a chase contact rate way below that. So if you think, here's what I'll say right now, if you take the books and recent history, Kodai is expected to face approximately 25 batters. If you think he's going to face 25, then there's really no way you can look at an under at 6.5 or at 7.5 because of how often these Mariners, for all the good that they've been doing recently, strike out. If you don't, then you probably should just pass on it, because there's probably not a lot of ways that you should look to take an under against the Mariners on the road. So and when I look at his earned runs, hits, and walks, I see hits are down at 4.5. I see earned runs are down at 2, and I see walks are 2.5, which is pretty standard for Kodai. So books seem to indicate that he's going to have a decent start. He's going to have decent length to his start. If that's the case, then there's really no way you can look at an under here.
I actually was debating his walks over, because we've got Crawford, Rodriguez, Suarez. Crawford's walking 20% right now. Suarez 17, and Rodriguez 9.5. Now there's some other ass in this lineup, but Ford's walking 11.5. He's gonna see the top of the fucking lineup at least 3 times. Can I not get 3 fucking walks? That's like, I mean, this is what happens when you end up fucking spending this much fucking time on one guy's lineup. You know, you start like, that's the way his K's don't hit. He walks fucking too many people today, guys. We have 4 guys in this projected lineup walking 1% or way better than 1%, better than league average right now. And that could be the death of this man. It really can.
Yeah, well, and so with somebody like Senga, I mean, he's still K-ing lefties almost as much as he's K-ing righties. So I know the projected lineup for the Mariners looks to, especially at the bottom, looks to be pretty heavy. So if they go by projected, you have Ford, Canzone, Rojas, and Crawford. If you're going 7, 8, 9 back to 1, you have 4 lefties in a row. That hasn't really seemed to bother him all that much. And those last 3, if that's in any shape or form, you can get 2 of those 3. A few of those guys are just strikeouts waiting to happen. They just can't help themselves. So if the lineup is what it's projected, I'm probably willing to consider a small shot on an over, but I'm with you. I for sure would rather actually just take the extra strikeout and take plus money and not pay any juice versus the alternative. Because all the numbers that I run for this one says if he's getting 7, he's almost assuredly getting 8. So he's going to.
I like to compare pitchers sometimes, you know, like, okay, who would be like Senga? Who's the closest pitcher out there to Senga? I would say Kevin fucking Gausman. And splitter, ghost fork, whatever, both pitches made in the Japanese market. And yeah, he's had 9 and 13 in his 2 games for Seattle this year, guys. So, oof. But Seattle was a lot worse than those times he faced them. So got to take that in. So like you said, I'm either going half unit on the 7.5, or I'm just going to bet his walks fucking over, because I think the dude may walk a bunch of dudes today. But like I said, I got to do fucking more work. I spent fucking 2 hours right there. I got to go re-listen to myself talk again and then figure that shit out, because he hasn't walked 3 fucking people but 2 of his last 10. So has Senga fucking figured it out? And it sure the fuck seems like him and Alvarez have. So
it does.
It does. So why set myself up for just kick myself square in the nuts? So let's talk about the next guy on the board, and that's another guy in a back-to-back that they fucked with. Number 8 in the black book, Max Scherzer versus the Twins, striking people out 28.5%, while walking people 7% of the time. Open them up 9+, -122 on FanDuel, where the best line available to that 8.5 is -120 and still on FanDuel. PrizePicks has them at an 8.5, whereas outs, hits, earned runs are not available on PrizePicks, where the projected lineup is 5 righties, 4 lefties, projected 2 different bats than what he's seen last week. Let's talk Mad Max, and I know you want to talk Mad Max.
Oh, I do. Sharpie, I told you this morning, in that, you know, as far as how you play this one, my first inclination when I saw it was that this line is probably 1K too high. I know it is for a reason, because of the opponent, Max at home, blah, blah, blah. You know, Max has obviously had some some pretty good starts recently at home. The one thing that he has been doing is he's been making people chase. 70th percentile chase rating for this season to begin with. And he made these Twins chase all over the fucking ballpark at Target Field the last time we played him with the 10 strikeouts. I think he had a chase rate. I think he had a chase rate somewhere close to 40%, which is outrageous, even for the Twins. Now, when you look at the Twins over the last 30 days, and they actually have faced some decent chase pitchers in that mix, one of them being Max, where they didn't do so well, but league average is 29% swing rate outside the zone. Look at the Twins go, 26.3%. And they have faced some a few chase pitchers in that time. Also, league average 55.7% contact rate outside the zone, which is where they really, really struggled the last time they faced him, 56.9%. So when you factor those two things in, and you factor in, to your point, Sharpie, that they took him up from what he should be, which I get it, because I think that if they had set it at a 7.5, even if you juice the hell out of it at minus 155 or more, I think that the public would have just smashed it, and you would have been underwater. So I think that the 8.5 is the line that probably makes sense. I think you're still going to be able to take on some public over money, but every which way I run this, I can't come up with a mathematical way that he gets to 9. And then when I factor in the Twins' swing rate outside the zone and their contact rate on chase stuff, and the fact that even though it's the Twins, and they've been strikeout machines. I mean, they're my fucking team. I live here. I won't make any bones about that. They're one of the worst strikeout teams in Major League Baseball. Getting 9+ a week after seeing a team against the same team is tough. Sharpie, we talked about it before the show. When you think about it, because you look at Scherzer's innings prop, and right now, and actually it's been pretty consistent throughout the day, his innings prop is set right at or just below 6, depending on where you look. So you figure 9 strikeouts in 6 innings when he's also projected to walk 2 guys, give up 4 or 5 hits, depending on where you look. So much has to go right, and very, very little can go wrong for an over in this scenario to take place. So forget the Twins have been sucking with strikeouts. Forget EK. I get all that. Think pure mathematical fact and think of how many things have to go right and how little can go wrong for him to hit an over before you just start pumping money into that. The fact that it's set this way and it hasn't moved like this based on where the action's going leads me to believe that the books might want you on the over, meaning you, the public.
Now, like I said, guys, we got another back-to-back where the books fuck with an original number, which, like I said with Yuri, that just doesn't happen, guys. So last week, Scherzer was a 7.5 versus these Twins, and then he manhandled them, went 7 innings, 2 earned runs, and struck out 10. So manhandled may have been an understatement, but they jumped him up to an 8.5 with juice. As we know by now, guys, this far into a damn season, as if they go high the first time, we can only look low the second time and vice versa. Yuri didn't go high, guys, and they dropped him, where this man went high and they jumped him. Like I said, guys, they don't fucking do that. Nah. At first, I was like, okay, this may be an easy bet, man. I may just have to bet under and say, fuck you guys, and go with the books. But then I got to digging, and the books may actually have something here, guys, as the only pitcher in my book to have a back-to-back versus the Twins this year that I can find was Luis Castillo La Pareda himself. And in the first game versus the Twins, he had himself an 11-piece, and the next 5 days later, they actually dropped his K prop from a 7.5 to a 6.5. They didn't fucking add, and he still went out there and put up a 9-piece. And they may have learned them some that day, guys, that these Twins do strike out sometimes. And the books don't forget that shit, guys, as well as Max versus teams who whiff, guys, and chase this year. He's had 8 versus the Rockies, 9 versus the Brewers when they fell under that category, and 10 versus the Angels, 9 versus the White Sox, 2 games versus the Phillies where he had 8 and 9, and then again last week versus the Twins where he had 10. So he's never had fucking less than 8 in these type of spots. So the books would be kind of dumb to put that there at a 7.5, in my opinion, guys. So I actually get them adding it this time. Makes sense. I don't understand what they're doing with Yuri, guys. I can see Max land dead on 8 today. I can. And do I want to pay juice for a 9 and 8.5? Like, that's a lot of fucking strikeouts, man. I don't think you're Spencer Strider, bud. I just don't. I'll bet Spencer Strider to get 9, but 9 on a back-to-back is tough. It's fucking tough.
Well, I mean, even just think about the raw math. So let's just say, assume the book prop is correct and he's going to go 6. Let's just say 6 innings guaranteed. That means you need at least 1 strikeout every inning. I can for sure see that happening. And that means that in 1 inning, you have to either strike out the side, or in 2 or 3 innings, you have to get 2 out of the 3 as strikeouts. And that's also, in doing so, not racking up your pitch count to the point where you can't complete 6 innings when the books are projecting your walks to be slightly up from normal and hits to be average. Okay. Just think about how that math works out. And it goes back to what Sharpie said. Can he do it? Sure. Can the Twins strike out 9 times on the road? I mean, that's an easy yes. However, I'll go back to my original point, and then I'll close it with this. So much has to go right for this over to hit, and very, very little can go wrong. Do you want to pay juice for that? Yes or no? If your answer is yes, if you're comfortable with it, then maybe
take Gallo out this lineup, brother. We're going under, bro. Gallo had 3 fucking strikeouts last week. He's not projected in this lineup, bro.
Anyway, yep.
Yeah, bro. There's no how you go over when the one dude who punched out 3 times is not supposed to be in the lineup, and then they jack him up. Nah.
And actually, you talked about when La Pareda got the back-to-back. Ever since then, because that was in late July, it was in it was almost at the end of July. Ever since then, Twins have been top 7 in swing rate outside the zone, top 15 in contact rate outside the zone. They haven't faced it's not like they're facing Strider and Max every night, but they have faced some chase pitchers in that time frame. So, and part of it is stuff like they're doing tonight, where against high strikeout and high chase pitchers, they just don't play Gallo. He just doesn't play because he can't. Because then you get the shit that we had last time, where it was all the strikeouts. The other part with the Twins is that right around that time, remember, Polanco was just coming back. And when he came back, he was so fucking rusty and he was so bad with his swing. And that is improved by leaps and bounds. This is one where I can say, you guys know I'm all about the math and the numbers. I don't need the math and the numbers for this one because I watch this team every single game. I can see it with my own 2 eyes. He's greatly improved his patience and his swing. So if Gallo's not in the lineup, like I said, with how much has to go right for this over to hit, you really want to pay juice for that with every team playing and all these aces on the mound? Fuck that.
Yeah. And quick question, as a new under better, I need to ask you, how many unders have you bet on the Twins
this season?
Recently? Yeah, even this season.
I cashed
enough.
I've played, I think, 2 or 3 on them, but when I've played them, they've all hit. I played Andrew Heaney when they had the Rangers last week. That hit. I played him like last month sometime when it was some crazy high number and it hit. But I mean, it's not many.
My worst bet, I'm only saying that because my worst bet of the year betting an under was versus the Angels. And I told myself I will never bet a fucking team I fade again to the under.
Yeah.
We are at that conundrum again. This is a team I fucking pick on, but yet I want to go under. And the last time I did that, dude, I got fucking looked like an ass clown.
Was it a back-to-back?
Over.
Was it?
No, it was not. No, it was not. It was just
back-to-back?
Montgomery fucking dicking me down versus.
Oh, that's
Angels.
right. I remember that. Yeah.
That's what I said. I'll never bet versus the Angels again. That's what I just wanted to ask, bro. That's why I was like,
I know.
I got to make my rules, man. And I was like, are the Twins a team I pick on a lot? And I haven't been as of late. I didn't play Max the first time. I didn't even look at him.
Yep.
Well, fucking Gallo's the one who cashed it for him.
He was.
I mean, I'm sure he would have got 1 from the other guy, so I'm not going to take away his credit. But 3, bro, man, that's a whole lot of strikeouts. So, yeah, you may catch me on under today because you're not catching me on over. Now, I am trying to bump up my fucking unders to full units, but you see, I come up with ways to say half every fucking time. Like, well, maybe I should go half since it's against the Twins. Fucking pussy over here I am. Pitcher number 4 in the black book, guys. Or pitcher number 4 today, number 5 in the black book is Carlos Rodon at the Astros, striking people out this year at a 20% clip while walking people 12% of the time. But nana, that's from a few games this year, guys, where Rodon hasn't been Rodon. Well, after watching last week, guys, he's fucking back. And his career numbers are striking people out 26.5% of the time while walking people 9% of the time. Open them up 5+ -160 on DraftKings, where morning time 6+ at +105 on MGM, to where the best line to the 5.5 now is on DraftKings at +120. PrizePicks has them at a flat 5, whereas earned runs under over are a 2.5 on PrizePicks. Projected lineup, which should be your everyday lineup nowadays, except Brantley will be in there, but not versus a lefty probably. 7 righties, 2 lefties. What you got on Carlos?
So this is going to be a complete and total pass for me. I typically try not to mess, especially on the road. I do not mess with overs for the Astros. I'm certainly not, even though it's a 4.5, I'm not paying minus 160 or minus 170, whatever the fuck it is, like some absurd juice for that. The 4.5 is a little bit too low for me with what you mentioned, how he's been lately. Now, the other thing that I keep in mind too, if you're thinking about betting an over for this one, is you go and you look at the Astros K percentages versus some of the pitches that Rodan throws. And obviously, obviously we know that they're fastball hitters. We know that they have everybody in their line, virtually everybody in their lineup, with the exception of probably Maldi, who is at 25% or less whiff percentage against a four-seam fastball, which Rodan throws 61.2% of the time. The other pitch that he throws, and this is pretty much all he does, is the slider. Now, when you look at the Astros against the slider, you look at their K percentage against that pitch, and you have Altuve 15.1, Tucker 16.7, Breggy 20.2, Abreu 20.8. I mean, I could go on and on and on. Even guys like McCormick and Pena are 25% or less. The only guy, actually no, 2, Myers if he plays, and then the only other guy, which of course you have to live with this one, is Maldi at 34.8 and a very, very
Myers is in the lineup. It goes Pena, Myers, Maldonado at the end.
Yeah. So Myers 37.1 whiff, 35.9 K. Both of them are have been about a fourth of their strikeouts have been on sliders. So if you can assume that the 2 of them will probably each strike out once, the question is, will Rodan get 3 against the rest of this lineup? Looking at the K percentages, both recently and season long, and some of the batting averages against a slider, even though Rodan has showed a lot in his last few starts, I don't know. I try to be very, very selective about betting on any kind of over against a pitcher facing the Astros that uses a slider as his put away pitch, because then even you look at some of the batting averages against it this year, Altuve 348, Tucker 264, Abreu's got a bunch of home runs off of him. I mean, it just goes on and on and on and on. But anyways, so yeah, it's a lot to ask for me.
Well, now this is where I got a conundrum, as we got Rodan at the Astros. And yeah, as I said last week, guys, Carlos Rodan is back to being the guy we are accustomed to watching. An elite strikeout fucking pitcher, guys, as his fastball and slider look the best it has all year. And when he did get hit, it was a location problem, nothing to do with his vertical break. Guys, that is, his slider had the most bite it had to it all year, as back foot was an understatement at times where he was burying that bitch, guys. So what is going to happen now? My dilemma, guys, obviously it's the fucking Astros. They're a no-fly zone, meaning we need a really good reason to fuck around and find out, as they have been putting a beating or 2 on most lefties they have seen in the last month, let fuck alone the last 3 years when they've been humming. And they're fucking humming. As Rodan did see them back on August 1st, guys, and he got baptized. Didn't make it 3 innings, gave up 4, yet he still had 5 strikeouts when his vertical break was nothing compared to what it's been in his career, compared to what it was last week. Yeah. So can we fucking go over here, guys? That's the fucking question. And in the projected lineup, which is now out there, which is not projected, there's actually only 5 guys in this lineup, guys, and their strikeout percentage I'm not able to run, but with the 6 projected, like my guy said, they were striking out 27% of their at-bats versus this man. What? That don't happen. You don't hear 27 fucking percent versus the Astros and anybody. Chris Sale had a 22.5%. And I thought that was good versus an Astros type team, you know? No. 27% versus 6 of the guys that were projected. And now we've actually got 4 guys who have less than 2 at-bats versus Carlos Rodan. That's a big, big fucking advantage towards Rodan the first time seeing these boys, guys. So the dilemma is, does he get his fucking ass kicked or not? He probably can get his ass kicked here, guys, but you can still cash your fucking K prop while getting your ass kicked. And if he does go over that 5 innings mark, then what happens? Then we get he goes 6, he gets 9 today, guys. That's what I'm getting at. Now, do I got him going 6? I can't say he's going to go 6. The books got him at fucking 14.5 because it's the Astros. And I get it, guys. But what I'm getting at is I am looking to put a half unit bet on the over 5.5 at plus 120. There's just mass value in a spot that he should fucking dominate in. And if he doesn't get hit, then holy fuck, we will never see a 5.5 again, as this man was a walking 7.5 last year, guys. So the books aren't going to put that he's back on one game, as it was the Rays. But the Rays weren't hitting. They also weren't striking out. He went and fucking struck them out. Now we got a team not striking out, not hitting. What's going to happen? Everything says he should get bludgeoned, which can happen. It's baseball, but you can still hit your K prop while getting bludgeoned. What happens if you don't?
I don't know if he gets bludgeoned. I think he gets hit because his hits prop is at 4, walks prop is at 2, earn runs 2.5. But to your point, he is projected for less than 5 innings. So what that would lead me to believe is that the books at least think that you're going to see a fair number of long at bats, which, given how hard it is for pitchers to get strikes and to strike out the Astros on a slider, I can see that, because really 2 of the pitches that the Astros have the overall team and a lot of guys individually lowest whiff and lowest K percentages against are the 2 pitches that Rodan throws almost exclusively, which would be the slider and the 4-seam fastball. So, but on the other side, it's a very, very low total. For me, I don't want to pay juice for an over for him on the road against this team, and the under, it's just too low for me to do that.
I've always talked about doing this and never have done this, Chris, because we're about to talk Verlander, and I've got Verlander winning the game. I've also got Rodan, close to that 6, if not more strikeouts. I might just pull him down to 5 and Astros win. Mm-hmm. Like the exact opposite of the fucking single game parlay. Yeah, I'm probably going to do that now that I just spoke that, guys. So let's talk why. Justin Verlander versus the Yankees for the 4th time this year. Number 40 in the black book is striking people out 21.5% of the time, while walking people 7.5% of the time. Open them up 7+ minus 120 on DraftKings, and that is still the same line he's at, where he's 6.5 on PrizePicks. Fantasy score under over 34.5. I say fantasy score because I think that's a great spot to bet today. Whether he wins or loses, I'll touch on it. I think 34. I think he gets 36 without the win. So projected lineup, 7 righties, 2 lefties for the Yankees. Let's talk Verlander at the cheating ass home he's at.
Yeah, I mean, you might think like, hey, why would I not bet the under here? I mean, he's faced him 3 times and got 6.64, but this is a different Verlander. The first game or the last game he faced the Yankees, where he only had 4. 1, he was on the road. 2, it was his first game back with the Astros after the trade. And yeah, you can say, okay, Maldi was his catcher and he knows him, but guys, it's still, I mean, literally like traveled back to Houston, all the whirlwind from the trade. I don't really put too much or as much stock in that one. What I look at here is a few things. So number one, early in the season, the thing that Justin Verlander struggled to do, which was why in his first start of the year, after he came back from that injury and faced the Tigers, why he came up just short with his K prop, was because he couldn't throw strikes. He couldn't throw first pitch strikes. Now, that is going to be a big deal if he can't do that against the Yankees, because they are and still remain one of the most patient teams in the league statistically. 24.8% swing rate outside of the zone, which is by far, actually, they're tied with the Pirates for by far the best mark in baseball over the last 30 days. MLB average of 29%. Where they do struggle a lot, like a lot, is they have by far again the highest called strike rate in Major League Baseball over the last 30 days at 18.5%, which is almost 2% above league average. Guys, that's like almost hundreds of pitches that they just stand and watch in the strike zone, where Verlander has been at ever since that first little bit, and especially lately. Overall for the season, he is, from a first strike percentage, he's right in this, I think he's in his mid 60s. And yes, he is. But especially lately, the guy has just been turning it up. So I want to wait on this one. And I think because when we went on the air, I also didn't see an umpire for this game. Now I do. It's Nick Lentz. Not the umpire that I wanted. What I wanted was an umpire with a wide strike zone, because the Yankees will take so many pitches. And Justin Verlander in 1-2 or 0-2 counts over his last 3 starts has just been absolutely lights out fantastic. So what I don't see with this umpire is a lot or a very high called strike ratio. So this line seems pretty close to me. I think that if you're betting this one, I don't know. I actually might flip a coin. This one to me is just there's just way more value in other spots.
Yeah, man. This is a good old JV versus the Yankees. But before I talk about it, that has a lot to do, everything you just read out, with the best catcher in baseball, guys, Maldonado. And I'm not talking hitting.
No, defensively by far.
Man, that guy calls the game. That he had Alvarez, a rookie for the Mets, trying to call JV, trying to learn this guy who's a fucking career vet, walking Hall of Famer. Nah, man, he's back to he knows where he's at. He's got his guy, and he may cheat at home, maybe.
they've been known to do that a time or 12 out
or
there,
12 or 15.
20, whatever.
I mean, here we go, part 4, guys. I mean, god damn, is that enough games for somebody not in your own division? But that's what happens when you get traded. So we now get him for the 4th time, but the first time in Houston. And if you don't know by now, guys, he may cheat or not cheat in Houston. His strikeouts just go up 4K per 9 an inning in Houston compared to on the road. Like, man, 2K per 9 better from the right-handed side, as well as a 5K per 9 from the left-handed side. I mean, that's some fucking absurd splits right there, fellas. I mean, and in the 3 prior games, guys, that he has seen the Yankees, he has had 6, 6, and 4. Less than 2 earned runs every time, as well as as well as what? 6 strikeouts, 2 games, and 5 the other game, not 6 and 4. So now we get JV in Houston versus a Yankees team that's going the wrong way in every department, as they are walking league average and have a team nice isolated power of 180, yet are the 2nd worst in the league at striking out 29.5% of their at-bats. And now the Yankees have made the call to the farm system to bring up their 2 hottest prospects that have never seen a major league pitcher. Now, I get it. Dominguez has mass potential, guys. But you don't want to fucking make your first start versus a walking fucking Hall of Famer, guys. I mean, damn. Could you have waited a fucking day for these kids, guys? No. This is what Boone does, guys. They don't think. They don't use their fucking head. So you're going to have 2 guys who's never seen major league fucking pitching face a fucking walking Hall of Famer. Nah. Not good. So we get 40 cents added on to his K prop, guys, if we're just strictly going to go off win percentages. And that's what they should do, as, yeah, you just can't bump it up to a 7.5 when this man's never hit 7.5 versus this team. But yet they'll get that under money. They'll be, oh, he's never hit 6.5 versus them in 3 games. What's going to fucking change now? He's at home with Maldonado.
With Maldi, and now he's got a comfort level around him for being back in Houston. He's back with the team. I mean, guys, those are all things that very few numbers that you can run can cap. That's just knowing what these guys are like, knowing just knowing what the situation is like when a guy gets traded. Even if he's getting traded like JV back to the team he was on last year, there's still a slight acclimation period. he's way through that, and he has definitely reacclimated to being back in Houston. Even last time, like even look at his last start against the Tigers, his four-seam velo was up, his spin rate was up on his curveball, and his whiff percentage on his slider was up considerably as well. So, I mean, things are definitely trending up for this dude. But just, man, I don't know. It's a big number when I don't know what the strike zone is going to be. So, like I said, whenever I look at an over for the Yankees, I want an umpire that is going to call a lot of strikes and a pitcher that's going to throw a lot of strikes or go around the zone, because the Yankees will go down 0-2 in almost any count. They'll go down 1-2, 0-2 very, very easily and then go into swing mode. So if you do that against JV, that's going to be lights out. But not knowing how that part's going to play out, 6.5 is just a little bit too much for me with the juice.
Right now, I've got a heavy lean to the over. I'm actually leaning his outs more because I can get plus money, because I do think he's going to have to go longer than 6 to get it.
Yeah.
But then again, I go look and see what he's done at home since he's been traded, guys. And I'm not saying he's cheating, but he's 2-0 to the over on his K-prop, guys. Granted, yeah, he smacked the Angels for 7. But he had 9 versus a Red Sox team that don't fucking strike out to nobody, guys. So, Justin Verlander at home, you can't go under on him. You just fucking can't, guys. There's something that's going on there where he's over or nothing. And like I said, I'm looking to back him to get the win today. And maybe that's the way I back him. That's probably the way I do it. His earned runs are never a good bet, because this dude can give up 3 runs and then settle fucking in and go 7. And I've seen it. And I hate taking the 1.5s on him, because I've been there where he's given up 3 and they only got 4, and you're the home team and you don't get your fucking last at bats as the goddamn home team. So I will be looking to back Verlander and actually maybe back Rodan, as crazy as that fucking sounds. But I'll be looking at Verlander's outs or for the win personally. Now we get to the spot of the day where we can fall face first in some chi-chis, fellas. And we don't hate that. We just don't want to be a part of the titty capper play of the day. Meaning 90% of the cappers out there, including your favorite titty capper, are saying it's free money. Yet the books have their arms wide open to one-way traffic. And we're talking 61 in the black book, Eduardo Rodriguez at the White Sox. Striking people out this year 24.5% of the time, while walking people 6.5% of the time. Open them up at 6+ minus 127 on Caesars, and now you can get them for that 5.5 at minus 115 on DraftKings. PrizePicks has them as a 5.5, whereas pitching outs under over are at a 17. Projected lineup for your Sox today: 8 righties and Benintendi. What you got on Eduardo?
Oh man, danger. If you want to even think about this over, there really aren't many worlds where this line should be set the way that it is, but it is. And to your point, I mean, it's got all of the makings of the public trap play of the day. When you have all the titty cappers, you have everybody just if you do a search for any combination of betting Eduardo Rodriguez strikeouts, I mean, you're seeing boosts and shit offered. I mean, I know what that means. And that means please bet the over. And fuck you, no, I'm not giving them that satisfaction. So here's what I see for this one. I see that Rodriguez, almost 50% of his pitches are fastballs. I see that the projected lineup, 5 of the projected in the lineup, Jimenez, Vaughn, Moncada, Andrews, and Benintendi all have a whiff percentage on a 4-seam fastball under 20%. In fact, 3 of those have a whiff percentage under 15%. Now I go and look at his strikeout pitches, and I see that of the guys that are projected to be in the lineup, only 2 of them have a strikeout percentage against his whiff pitches over 38.5%. Most of them don't even have 30% or more. So, and then you factor in that on the road against righties, Erod has a 21.6% K rate only. Benintendi batting second when he Ks him at 34.4% isn't ideal, but Benintendi is one of those ones that makes high contact as well. They are begging you guys, literally on their knees, begging you to take this over. Don't give them the satisfaction. I'm not necessarily like guaranteeing that the under hits. I'm just telling you is that they are begging for you to take the over on this one.
Yeah, man. I made 16 lines today, guys, for my guys, and they fucked with 3 people. 2 unders they want me to bet under, as well as this over was the only over they fucked with, where they adjusted everybody according to the way that I've learned that they make their lines. And that's where we get to the titty capper play of the day, guys. A spot where 90% of the cappers out there are saying it's free money, guys. As we all know, there is no such thing as free in life, especially money. The last time I tried to get free money, I caught a 5-year fucking prison sentence. And this will be the second time, guys, that Erod has seen this team. This year, he went 6 innings of 1-run ball and had 6 strikeouts versus the lineup that was striking out less than 20% of their at-bats, while also smashing the ball with the team isolated power of 180. And then when I run the projected lineup as of now, we got a team not walking, striking out 27% of the time, and hitting the ball same with a 180 isolated power. So all in all, their numbers are the same, except their strikeout percentage goes up fucking 10+% from where it was last time we seen them. And they give us a 5.5. Let's dig a little deeper then, because 5.5 minus 130 should be versus a team that just plays regular baseball versus lefties or righties, whether they do strike out sometimes or they don't. And they strictly opened it up as if this team ain't fucking striking out, even though if you go to their overall numbers, like a lot of basic titty capper type people do, they strictly go to the K percentage. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, or he struck out 7 or more in 5 of his last 6. Well, who the fuck was he against?
That was the Yuri Perez.
Shit
He
drives me
struck
crazy.
out 7 people in all of his minor league starts. How doesn't he get 7 now? Oh my God. I still bet it. Not saying titty capper plays don't cash. It's just like a 70% to the fuck, man. These books ain't perfect, but they are multi-billion-dollar businesses is what the fuck they are. And yeah, so let's go talk about it. He just read off some stuff that made me sing glory, glory, hallelujah, glory. Yeah, you get the fucking drift. Well, if you don't go to church, you probably freaking should, guys, because he read off how they act or how they are versus his pitches. Well, that freaking adds up to the freaking 6 people in this projected lineup, guys, that's seen Erod at least 7 times, and he just read off how good they are versus their pitches. He's only got a 23% strikeout rate versus them. And on paper, Roberts and Anderson, guys, is the ones who struck out at a decent clip versus him in the past, where Andrews, Jimenez, Moncada, and Vaughn are all less than 19% with 11 or more at-bats versus this man. With Grandal only having 1 strikeout and 11 at-bats not projected in this lineup. So, fuck, can we get Grandal out there too? Por favor?
Be nice.
Give him a DH spot, dog, if you don't want him to catch. But this is a spot they're begging for the over. They haven't adjusted it. You will see nobody out there talking under, unless they do deep dives and understand the way the books do it.
Sure you will.
Unless they do what we do.
Yep, like, sure you will.
And the rule for me is you're either fade the titty capper play of the day or you leave it be if you can't figure it out. And I think I figured it out. They had to put it there because of past history, guys. The books do take in past history. That is one thing the books will always take in. We got Logan Gilbert at a 5.5 versus the Oakland A's this year, guys. When the dude had like 7+ in 6 straight, but because he never had more than 6 versus Oakland in 5 other games. They take in past history, guys. So they know, they see, oh, fuck, this team struggles versus him. He struggles versus him. We can get these guys to bet this. They'll bet this. They should have opened this up, guys, 6.5. He has a freaking win percentage of 50% to the 6.5. With the strikeout percentage that's there, they would have got over money on the 6.5. The fact that they've got wide open arms to a 5.5, real shabby.
Also, one more thing that if you do like the under in this, you're going to love this one. Behind the plate tonight, Lance Barksdale, only a 20.3% K percentage in games that he umpires. Strikeouts decreased by as much as 10%. And he is a hitter's umpire through and through.
He le chingado, man. And that's a fucking big one, man.
He's not quite Alfonso Marquez. And for those of you that follow umps like I do, you know what I mean. Or Bill Miller for overs on the other side. But Lance Barksdale is a very, very hitter-friendly umpire and has been for about the last 2.5 years. Maybe more.
Well, we've talked about the 6. We got to talk. What time is it? It's we'll talk a couple more because we got to, bro. We got to talk some baseball today. Any people you wanted to touch on today? As there's a boatload. You can start.
Of course.
And I'll chip in if say so after you say something about it.
Of course, I will give out. I mean, I'm going to post it anyway. So my free play of the day is going to be Mitch Keller, and it's going to be over 4.5 for sure. But that one's a little on the juice side. But you can go over 5.5 for a lesser amount if you want. So with the projected lineup here for the Cardinals, right now it's projected that Goldie, Nootbaar, and Arenado are going to be 1, 2, 3. It's not them that I'm really that concerned about because all of them have a relatively low K percentage and some decent history against Keller. Where it gets real fucking ugly is anything after that or anybody else virtually that the Cardinals can put in. So you got Wilson Contreras, a 50% K percentage against Keller and a 37% whiff percentage against breaking balls, specifically the ones that he throws. You have Gorman, who has a 40% whiff percentage against breaking balls. You have O'Neill, who has a 40% strikeout percentage against the sweeper, which is one of Keller's main put-away pitches. I mean, I could go on and on and on. So you have 4 through 9 hitters here. He's projected by innings props to face 25 batters, which means he's probably going to face those guys somewhere in the 12 to 13-ish, 14 time range. And to think that he can't even, to think that he probably only has to get 3, maybe 4 strikeouts against those guys and then K the top 3, if that is their lineup, one time to get to 5. It's a low bar to clear for a team that has some guys that are just horrendous against the breaking ball and against the sweeper. For a guy that's going to, again, face 25 batters pretty much on the regular here, this is one where I understand why the line was set the way that it was, because he's on the road and because of the projected lineup with the top 3 in the lineup. But like I said, you look anything past those projected top 3, and the only other one that the Cardinals can put in that's a low K guy is Edman, who will probably play. But then anybody else that they put in, you're talking 35% to 40% whiff percentage against breaking balls or more. And you have nearly all of them have a 30% whiff percentage against a sweeper or any of Keller's other breaking balls. So Mitch Keller, over 4.5 is what they have. Some books have it at now. I would even say FanDuel had it at plus 115, I think, for over 5.5. You can play that for a lesser amount too. So that would be a public play for me. Mitch Keller.
I'm going through the chat looking for the best bets while you were talking. And Cover King reminds me, which is, thank you for reminding me. You said the Twins are over or pass. So I guess you're fucking right. I made the rule. There you go, bro. I've got to fucking pass then. But there's no fucking way I'm betting Max over. But thank you.
No. I'm not betting the over for sure.
No, but I do got to listen to the rules I set, bro. And I don't want to be.
Right.
I've got to.
Right.
And the Angels were a reason that cooked me in. And if somehow the Max Scherzer hits, it's because it's the fucking Twins.
Yeah.
But he shouldn't. He should not. But
like
thank you for bringing that up.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely not on the over. That was the point that I was trying to make, is that if you were thinking over and licking your chops, thinking, ooh, it's the Twins, it's Max at home, ooh, boy, that's where my comment came from about for that to happen. So many things need to go right and very few things can go wrong.
Rocco's asking, before I get to your question, Rocco, Mitch Keller's a guy that I crossed out pretty much and would have to do some deep dive lineup work in. And I really didn't want to do that deep dive lineup work when I had so many other spots to attack.
Wheeler,
I know,
right?
but I wanted to touch on Keller.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Okay, sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Before we got in. He was just a guy I was going to have to do a lot of work on, and there's a lot of other guys I would rather do the work on today. So, yeah, that was my opinion on him. And on Wheeler, go ahead, since I have to actually look it up, since he was a guy I crossed right the fuck off.
I think the question was about the outs prop.
Outs, 17 and a half at minus 125, which does sound alarming.
Yeah.
That does Wheeler's, huh? I'm going to pull that up and look at it, but.
Because it was 17 and a half, was it not?
Yeah, now I'm seeing minus 196, minus 195, 85. See,
he's not
maybe your book fucked up, though, and you should have hammered him.
To think he's not even going to go 6 is probably a little bit too far for me. So, yeah, I would for sure lean the over. I don't know if I want to pay juice on it, though, based on some of the last outings.
Right now, it's minus 196 on Caesars and 85 on MGM.
Shit.
Yeah. I was like, bro, that's a fucking typo or something's going on here, bro. This is I wish they would let us ladder outs. You know, like that to me is a parlay piece, bro. Find your favorite other thing you like this week going in UFC. He should go 6 innings.
Sure.
No problem. This team ain't hitting. It's the striking out. That's the fucking problem.
Right.
They don't strike out. So I ain't looking at him, but now thanks for bringing that up to me, bro. I'll go look to play his outs on a little parlay ski later on, like 6. I love when they do those juiced ones where they think you can't bet it. I'll find a fucking way, motherfucker. I'll hook him to Djokovic or some shit and get it at minus 150.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of other stuff that you can pair it with that has a very high degree of hitting that you can get close to even money on if you like it that much. Absolutely.
I like to go into other sports, and we've got the U.S. Open and guys that are like 3,000 favorites that'll pull it down 40 cents for me, bro. Minus 150, here we fucking come. Djokovic in the outs. But you got any opinions on Max Fried today?
No, I crossed him off pretty quickly. They're just that line to me. I have that as one of, because I group my lines every day about ones that are under candidates, over candidates, and ones that are set just right. And I pretty quickly moved him into based on innings, based on a whole bunch of other numbers. Like that's probably where it should be. That's correct.
Yeah, I am needed to do some real digging here. This is what I consider a playoff type series.
Yep.
And the Dodgers don't fucking look at it as like a playoff type series right now. They really don't. They do not take games in August and September as a playoff series. They take it as an everyday fucking game where the Braves are still young and they want to beat the Dodgers. They want to let the Dodgers fucking know. Good pitching beats good hitting every day of the week, guys. Max Fried has done the damn thing when called upon in the playoffs. Max Fried has done the damn thing. Shout out to Noli in the chat. He's been best throughout his career, August, September playoffs. He turns the fucking switch. He turns it on when he needs to. The guy knows how to get out of jams, knows how to get double plays. He's a legit ace, guys. This is one of the premier pitchers in baseball. Now, aces don't strike people out. He don't give a fuck about a goddamn strikeout unless a guy's on second or third. That's when they will go and look for the punch out, guys. He wants that ground ball double play. He wants that weak contact out. He wants to go deep into games. Those are what aces really do, guys. So you get guys like Zach Gallen, who on days, even Sandy Alcantara, they'll give you 7 to 9, and you're going to see 3 fucking strikeouts. Because they don't fucking care about striking people out. They care about going deep. They care about doing what's good for their team. So I'll be looking at Max Fried's outs probably today. I think he goes 6 innings. I think it's under the 6.
I was just going to say, I think that's probably the better way to look than strikeouts.
And I'm worried about Julio. I really am. He's been really good at home.
That offense, man, fuck.
But those Braves versus lefties, bro.
They just pound.
And I think the past history actually favored the under, to where I might actually, if I go anything, I'll go under on Julio tonight. I really think that they may get to him. And if they get to him, it's not like Lance Lynn. Me and Noli were talking about this morning. They were leaving Lance Lynn out to die yesterday. They weren't getting the pin up. They were like, nah, bro, you're pitching. We need innings. We need innings.
You're going to eat innings and you're going to like it.
Yeah, you're here to eat innings, bro. He is not pitching in the top 3 of our rotation, maybe not even in the rotation when it comes to the playoffs. Guess who started their rehab assignment today? Walker Buehler.
Oh, yeah.
Dude started rehabs today, bro. He will be fucking starting games for us by the end of September. We've got Kershaw, Gonsolin coming back, Odious. Lynn is here to eat innings right now, guys, and Julio's not. If Julio's getting touched, they're taking him out. They're saving him for the next day. His ego, everything is more important to Julio than it is to fat fucking Lance. Fat Lance was nowhere near the plate. Missing. They didn't even move. No call, no fucking let's talk to him. They're like, let's walk in another batter, eh? Oh, Acuna's coming? Oh, here comes a grand slam. Don't even worry about it. Fuck the bullpen. Save him. This fucker's going to go 100 today. I don't fucking care. And that's what Lance Lynn's going to do.
Yep. I saw it just flashed up. LJ from H-Town about Peralta. You know, he actually went pretty far on my list as well. The Phillies, just real quick about Peralta. So the way to strike the Phillies out is definitely by making them chase. They do have a 31.7% chase rate outside the zone, which is above league average of 29. They also have a contact rate by doing that, slightly under league average. The big thing that the Phillies have is over the last 30 days, league average of 61.9% first pitch strike. The Phillies are 63.5, which is one of the worst marks in baseball. When they go down 0-1 in the count, they are striking out at over a 30% rate. How that matches up with Peralta here is that he has a first strike percentage somewhere in the same range. But my only thing with this one is recency. Peralta has just been striking guys out left and right. I mean, it's been absurd how many, over his last 4, I think it's 4 or 5 starts. It is 5. Over his last 5 starts, he's averaged 9.2 strikeouts per game, which is fucking, that's Spencer Strider territory. So you can ask yourself, is that sustainable? Where I looked and the ultimate reason why I passed, but LJ, I don't blame you if you take it, is that I see that he's projected based on innings to face approximately 20 batters. So when you think about that, 20 batters and striking out 8 out of 20, that's a 40% strikeout rate, which he's been doing recently. But you know, it's a high bar. That's the only thing I'll say for that one. It's a very, very high bar. Now, last I checked, I think you could get plus 115, plus 120 for the over on this one. So if you think he's going to go longer than his innings prop, right? Because right now it's only at like 5 1/3. If you think he's going to go longer for his innings prop, definitely worth a shot. In the end, one of the reasons why I just ended up discarding that one wasn't because I didn't think it was a good play. It was because my card's getting pretty full already with ones that I personally thought had more value. But the only thing for me that stopped me on this one is he's only projected to pitch 5 1/3 innings tonight. So books tend to be pretty correct on a lot of outs props, especially ones that have had, you have a lot of history behind, like a guy like Peralta, who throws a lot of pitches too. So that was the only thing that helped me back. The other metrics, I mean, it's an easy overlook.
I'm passing,
but
LJ's best bet was Freddie's Peralta over 7.5. Where Cover King is Cal Control going today or no?
Is what?
Is Cal Control going? I don't fucking pay attention to him. Or has he already gone? Because he put out a big old list, but I know a lot of them have hit. The dude has been hot.
Quantrill is pitching for the Guardians tonight. Yes.
His best bet is the under 4.5 Ks. And I think the dude's been real hot in this chat. So something to pay attention to. Also, Justin's best bet was Bobby Witt Jr. over 1.5 bases, as there would look like only 3 people who threw out their best bets in that time span of me actually running through everything. So, appreciate everybody. The chat was actually live as fuck today, guys. Without you guys, there ain't us. And let's just keep it rolling. Let's stay hot. I will put out a video or a tweet or some shit once I run through all these lineups and make my decisions as Reds paid off Strider, bitches. As someone tried to warn me in the chat yesterday. Remember that time when you went a little hard on Strider? Yeah, I fucking lost. But guess what? You can't win them all, bitches. Let's keep it rolling, though, guys. Appreciate you, Spin Doc. As always, it's a fucking treat. And it's even a bigger treat when you get to stay longer when the work don't call your name. So let these guys know what you got going on, where they can find you.
Yeah, at Spin Doc Sports. Follow me there. I already told you guys what my public play is, but it is the Pirates. It's Keller of the Pirates. Over 4.5. You can even play over 5.5 at plus money as well. I think that there's, especially if we get the lineup that's being, or close to the lineup that's being projected, I think that 6 is a very distinct possibility based on a lot of the metrics against the sweeper and breaking balls that everybody outside of the projected top 3 in the Cardinals lineup has.
And where can they find you?
At Spin Doc Sports on Twitter.
And NFL, I know you got a lot going on. What's there?
All right. So NFL is going to be starting soon. I've already done a couple free division previews for fantasy football. I've actually I had 3 drafts in a row this week in my 3 of my bigger money leagues. So was overall pretty happy with that one. My biggest money one, which is for those that play in, anybody doesn't know what it is, an Emperor pot. So it's a dynasty league where a percentage of your entry fee each year, which is multiple hundreds, like a lot, goes towards the Emperor pot. And if you win the league 2 years in a row, you win the entire Emperor pot. And our Emperor pot right now is closing in on $6,000. So lot of money at stake there. So for those that don't know, I do play pretty high stakes fantasy football. So if you have any draft questions, feel free to just shout them out. If you're looking for a last minute sleeper or a guy that I think still is probably a little undervalued, there are 2 rookie wide receivers that I think can have a very, very solid impact this year on a redraft team. And neither one of them play in Seattle. It's not JSN. One plays here in Minnesota and the other one plays out in Baltimore. So you guys can figure that one out. Those are 2 guys that I am trying.
Yeah, that kid out in Minnesota is a beast, bro. It's
Jordan Addison.
Go with Jefferson, bro. Oh my God.
Yep. I am trying to have as many shares of those 2 as possible in Dynasty. Redraft doesn't make a difference. And then if you want another sleeper, another guy that I have a lot of shares in that I like is and think he's undervalued, could be a great wide receiver 3 you can get on the just absolute dirt cheap, is George Pickens out of Pittsburgh. The knock on Pickens up until this point was that he was just a big play guy and was a lot of boomer bust. He's made a ton of adjustments in the offseason. Matt Canada has opened up his route tree and actually increased it, almost doubled his route trees in training camp. He's catching everything in joint practices. He's beating everybody. He's actually Kenny Pickett was actually the top rated quarterback in the preseason, and Pickens by many accounts was easily his primary target, even over Deontay Johnson. So the kid has breakaway speed. He's got athleticism. So I'm all over George Pickens. And I saw that Big Show posted that Flowers is a beast. Yes, he is fucking incredible physically. So the other thing, just real quick about Flowers, is that the Ravens do have a new offensive coordinator this year, Todd Monken. If you don't know, Todd Monken is very, very centered and focused on the pass. His offenses have always been typically 60-40 pass versus run. It probably won't be that high because they have Lamar and Dobbins this year, but they brought him in to make Lamar more of a passer and less of a runner, even it out a little bit, because remember, you just signed the guy to a bazillion-dollar deal. So Do you really want him out in space running as much as he was with the injuries he's racked up? They're also trying to protect him as well. So they went out and got him weapons. They got him OBJ. They drafted Flowers, and Andrews is still there. So there's a lot of things to like about the Ravens offense this year. A lot.
Except they don't got a quarterback who can throw the ball. Yeah, I said it, guys. I don't fucking like that guy and don't think he's a good quarterback. Here we fucking go, though. Nate did put out his best bet. Mariners first 5 money lean, yeah. As I appreciate all you guys, as well as people giving out some college football unders, as I've been making good money off the unders. That's all I'm looking at the bet, because they haven't adjusted to the time clock situation in college yet. So
nope.
Been hitting unders.
I actually took because I mean, obviously I was watching the Gophers in Nebraska last night because I'm from here. And
that first half under, baby.
Woof, woof. Oh no. I actually bet it in game when it was at 27.5 and I still hit.
I had 21 the first half, bro. Fuck, get out of here. Minnesota's an under team.
Watching like 5 to 7 minutes of that game, I told all my people too. I said, fucking under. I'm like, I've seen this movie before. I've seen this before with Minnesota. Nebraska's offense is brand new, under Matt Rule. Like, Nebraska's offense looked like absolute ass. Like, and people are like, well, it's under 30 right now. I'm like, I might fucking take the thing under 20. Now they went slightly over that, but still, I'm like just under. That was Big Ten football at its finest.
Yeah, it was good money. I had to sweat out the fucking Utah under, but that came through.
Yep.
Yeah. Another one, guys, though. Appreciate you all for tuning in. Smash that like button if you haven't. It does help people find the best MLB prop show on God's green earth. This show is sponsored by PrizePicks. If you haven't, go on over there and use that promo code PubSports. You will get a match deposit on your first deposit of $100, minimum of $25. I'm Sharpie's Bets. This show is produced by Big Show Picks and on Pub Sports Radio. Our guest today was Spin Doc Sports. And until Monday, guys, stay fucking solid and let's stay hot, baby. Just don't fall for
Keep firing, assholes!